Yes,
the wife gets everything, baby. So y'all side chicks, y'all shoot it if you want to, but
stop being the sneaky link.
don't be the side when you got to be the main hoe. So side. Don't.
And that's whether you're married or not. When you're married, you gotta be his everything.
You gotta be the main one. You gotta be the everything if you want the assets.
Yeah.
I am not a gold digger. I got my own shit.
But
everybody,
I cannot.
Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Aunties,
the Halloween edition.
Yeah.
Woo.
So corny.
We're not scary at all.
Okay. So, for the purpose of this episode, we did something in the spirit of using AI.
Yeah.
I went to ChatGPT and I said, ChatGPT, what's a good Halloween topic for the Not Your Average Aunties podcast? And ChatGPT for Halloween, right?
Okay.
I said, given that we are in our 1920s garb. Do you see it? Do you see it? I hope y'all see it. Yes. It's lovely. To die for, darling. To die for. Yes. It gave me some topics. So what we're going to cover, what I thought was very interesting, it said, here are 5 Halloween-themed ideas, and one of them was dating horror stories.
Man.
But hang on. But then I said, wait a minute, ChatGPT. What's a good Halloween topic for Not Your Average Aunties? We are wearing 1920s costumes.
Can we pause for a second?
Yes.
Do we want to let them know we're using ChatGPT?
Why not?
Okay.
AI.
All right, go on. Because it could be like, are we using that for all of our podcast topics? I don't want them to think that. That's what I'm thinking about.
We don't use this for all of our podcasts. We come authentic, all right? So we be coming up with our topics. I just happen to ask ChatGPT this shit, all right? This time around. Don't be thinking we don't have brains. Because we are thinkers. I think very deeply.
And we share our own opinions.
Exactly.
Just like KRS-One for your those hip-hop heads that got it. I think very deeply. Anywho, right? So it said, given the 1920s costumes, how about a topic like Ghosts of Generations Past, lessons from today's Roaring Twenties. I'm not reading this very eloquently, but I said dating etiquette, then and now, the flapper's guide to modern love.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay.
So then it went through this whole thing. So I said, okay, ChatGPT, if we went with that, can you let me know what dating was like for women in the 1920s?
Okay. Because we wouldn't know.
None of us would.
Right.
We
wasn't here.
Hell, we wasn't
thought about, right?
We wasn't even in a nutsack. None of us.
Oh.
We was always in a nutsack.
Not in 1920s.
Not those.
Not them nuts.
Maybe our parents were.
Yes.
We weren't.
That's
not
not
even
our grandparents.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Our grandparents.
My dad was born in 1920.
Oh, child, we forgot. Yeah.
You for real?
Yes.
He's as old as my grand. He's gonna be 100 this year.
Yes.
Yeah, he's my grandma.
Your daddy.
My daddy
was my grandma.
August 14th, 1925.
Oh, wow.
I stand corrected. For those of y'all.
Well, her mama, but my grandmama.
Yeah, my grandma. Yeah.
Remember I talked about
you did.
that there's a 19 years difference between my mom and dad.
I stand corrected, child. Okay. So yes, you was in there. You was rolling around. You was circulating. You was just.
I cannot.
She was all up in them. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Sorry. Now. So let's get back to how women were dating in the 1920s. Okay, so let's learn something, because I learned...
Your mama wasn't dating in the 1920s, though. Just your dad was.
Well, he was born.
He was born.
So technically, he was the baby.
Okay.
Let's look at it this way. When he was going into the service, my mom was born.
Yes, that's interesting. Yes. So, so let me just educate, because this was definitely
okay, go ahead.
An education moment for me. I did not know this. For those of you that are out there, so dating in the 1920s was a fascinating time for women.
Yes.
This era, known as the Roaring Twenties, which we've all heard of, saw a woman pushing the social boundaries and challenging traditional norms. I didn't realize it was at that period, that decade, where that was happening.
Started to shift, huh?
Okay. So here's a look and this is what ChatGPT says. So, number one, breaking away from chaperone courtship. So back in the day, in order to go out on a date, you had to be courted and
We
chaperoned.
know nothing about that.
We know nothing about that because we was in
these streets.
we was out.
I wasn't outside.
I was out.
I was a good girl.
I was a good girl. I was a good girl being outside. It's all good. So chaperone courtship was a thing.
Yes.
But by the 1920s, this was starting to change. So young women, especially flappers, were going out without chaperones, enjoying more freedom to date, dance, and socialize openly with men.
Could we say what flappers are exactly?
You should put up ChatGPT.
Okay. She's challenging me over here today. Go on, finish saying what you're saying.
The second thing is the rise of the quote-unquote date as a social event.
Yeah.
Dating began to shift from family-introduced courtships. You remember how, so back in the day, like when you watched Bridgerton, how they had to bring, the courted, the dowries and everything. I am hot.
Let me tell you, so...
No, it's gotta stop.
You want the definition?
Something got to get on. I want that. No, but I'm about to bust in flames. No, it's just, bitch, I'm not joking. Why y'all laugh? Put the fucking shit on. Put this shit on.
No.
You know what?
No.
Pause.
No, I'm about to lose it.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Just a little bit.
Okay, all right.
Go use your garb.
Go ahead, yeah.
Just for a little bit.
Put it on.
Oh my God. I am about to make
You good now? You all right?
No, it needs to kick on.
What did they do in the 1920s with the hot?
Yeah, what the fuck them niggas did during menopause? I gotta know.
We gotta look that up.
I gotta look that up. Because this shit is unbelievable. Literally, you're gonna see it press ring. I got on one side, so it ain't coming through yet because Patrick started, baby. Your shit is on point. But about to come through. Okay, so think about, that's what I was saying, Bridgerton, where you had to have your dowries and you had to match up with the families and all that shit, right? So
they paid for
They paid for it, right? And you had to be selected, right, as a woman, right? So
you had to have money too.
You had to have some money. Although that was for a certain classes, I don't know how that trickled down into
other chaperone type.
Yeah, but for sure. Okay, so the rise of the date as a social event, it began to shift, like we just mentioned. So it went from more of a courtship, like with your families being involved, to more independent.
Okay.
Right? So in the 1920s, that was the first time people really started to go out on dates, right? In public spaces like jazz clubs, dance halls,
shaking their asses,
speakeasies, and with groups of friends.
Right.
Okay.
Girls' night out back then.
Which makes sense. They went to the dance clubs. My grandmother used to tell me how she used to skip school to go to the cotton club. Okay. Try to get some money to do that. So, and that was a thing.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when
so it was during the daytime, then they didn't go out at night.
No, it was during...
She skipped school.
Yeah, it was during, they would have big dances.
Okay.
Those are really for more adults, I guess. I don't know.
They wasn't out in these clubs in the streets at night then.
Yes. No. Okay. So...
Just trying to...
You got the definition of flappers before I go on to the next one?
Okay, yeah. So flappers, the rebellious women of the Roaring Twenties. Flappers were a generation of young women in the 1920s who defied societal norms and embraced a new, more liberated lifestyle. They were known for their short skirts, bobbed hair, and carefree attitude.
Were you a flapper? Do you think you were a flapper? I'm a flapper.
Was.
I'm a flapper, baby. I'm defining
I
society.
told you I was a good girl. Shit.
Do you saying the flappers are bad?
Yeah.
By society's definition?
By societal norms.
I'm a flapper. You a flapper. Cheers. Sorry, baby. I love you.
If I had to go by societal norms, no. But I did challenge some regular things, but you wouldn't catch me in these streets with no short skirts.
I think that I must be coming from a generation of sugar daddy. Yeah. They just come on, big spender. What you got for me? Hello. That must be in my blood or something.
Must be.
Shit.
You said your grandmama cut school and went to the party.
There you go. Yes. So the other way, defining how they dated. So flappers redefined womanhood and sexuality.
Okay.
The iconic young woman of the 1920s wore short skirts, bobbed hair, and challenged norms by embracing their independence. They flirted, smoked, drank in public, and some even kissed on the first date. Rebellious acts.
Okay, I may kiss on the first date.
They represented a bold new way of women unafraid to explore their sexuality and express themselves freely. I'm a flapper.
Borderline.
I can't. That's really probably the good. But no, I'm flat. I'm flat, baby. Okay. I'm all for the flatness.
Yes.
Okay. Economic independence and dating power. So they started working. Women started working, right? Running their own businesses. So with more women working and earning their own money, they had more autonomy in their dating. Bitch, I'm a flapper.
And they probably they dress their asses off.
Yes.
Flapping over here, right? Instead of relying on men for their social outings, they would choose where they wanted to go and often split the book. But hey, hang on. They did go Dutch.
Okay. Meaning they were in Dutch if they went out on a date with a guy.
Yeah, they were like, whatever. Come.
That's happening today, you know.
But that's how it came.
That's how it came about.
This was a new concept, as previously men were expected to pay and court women with gifts and dinners. So they were so independent.
So that's why, you know, today.
You mad at them flapping bitches?
You know, because these men, they be looking for that damn Dutch shit now, you know. They be expecting it now.
The influence of jazz and dance clubs, that was another part of the dating scene.
Jazz music. Jazz.
I love jazz. Jazz music was all the rage, which we know.
Yeah.
Dance halls, and it became essential to dating in the cultures, different cultures. Couples would often spend time dancing the Charleston, drinking at speakeasy, we talked about that, and socializing in vibrant nightlife scenes. Music and dancing. See, music and dance, they got me with that.
So they talk about speakeasy, excuse me. And I feel like there's some things that still having that speakeasy vibe. Like I've been seeing some things on social. They have like a little speakeasy you enter.
The underground.
Right, you enter and something looks like it's a soda shop, but then behind the scenes,
yes,
it's a club. They still have those things.
They have a lot in New York City.
Yeah. Up here too.
Is it just talking in terms of our culture or all cultures?
No, this is, I didn't ask ChatGPT to delineate between like different cultures, but we know that I think this is generally speaking, but I'm sure maybe there's certain nuances as relates to
I
would be interested.
The flapper phenomenon was primarily a white middle class phenomenon in the United States. However, it is important to note that the Roaring Twenties was a time of significant societal change, and women of color in different cultural backgrounds were also experiencing shifts in societal expectations and personal freedoms.
I was curious to see.
There you go. And I think because then you have like celebrities like Josephine Baker. I want to say she might have been around that time.
But she's not white. She's black.
No, she's black. She's black.
Right.
We had her. So there was a couple of women within that time that exhibited.
That's why I posed the question, because I wanted to know what
But I also think because it was, think of anything for societal changes and like shifts in societal norms, there's always going to be people that will be heavily set against it, right? So as these flappers were coming about, you can clearly see people that were like more Bible thumping and more church going. They probably were totally against this. She's showing her hand, you know, all the different things, right? So they were probably still wearing the skirts. No one was wearing breeches,
right? Which
were the pants, you know. So
or the corsets, and all that. They probably still wearing.
No, they definitely wear the corsets because you want to have that figure. But so the only two that are left I have is around birth control. The shifting attitudes towards intimacy, which it's interesting because they say, though limited, birth control methods like condoms and diaphragms became more available during that time. I didn't realize it went back way back.
I didn't think it went back that far.
No, I didn't either. I might have to challenge you, ChatGPT, and figure this out and see.
But then, I guess condoms probably, but diaphragms is a little bit challenging.
I don't know.
Right?
Again, it's 1920, so I got to figure out how.
And then see how there was condoms back then like that neither.
And then they said changing expectations around marriage. So while marriage was still the end goal for most, the timing and purpose of marriage began to shift. Women started to prioritize love and companionship over financial security. Back then, they would just marry for security reasons.
And you gotta also think that was around the time for the service. So women were running and being nurses, and then was going over to fight.
So with that being said, how would one of us as an auntie, how would we have behaved on a date in that time?
I'm still of the mindset of I need to be approached. Like I'm not gonna go and approach
You're not gonna shoot your shot.
I'm not gonna shoot my shot. With that mindset, I'm probably not the one's gonna be out in the club like that, either. Like that either. I mean, I'll tell you honestly, the times I started to actually go out was much later than some of my friends. They were hanging in the clubs a lot earlier than I was.
Okay.
So I'll probably be the one sitting at home waiting for my knight in shining to come and scoop me up. I ain't gonna be. I don't know.
I'm in there wherever the music is playing. I'm there.
Now listen, I love music. The music get me. The music feeds my soul. So when it come on, I'm on the floor doing a 1-2 step. But
she would have been the goody two shoes in the group. That's what she's trying to say.
Possibly.
Look at this. Really.
Have the rules in dating shifted? Have things changed?
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
In what ways?
Women are shooting their shot more than
more aggressive now.
They're going for what they want for sure.
Yeah.
So in what ways is it similar?
What do you mean similar?
How they dated back then, where women were being more out there and like, hey, explore
I don't think
sexuality.
I don't. While they probably was out there, I still don't think they were the one shooting their shot. They were still waiting for that man to approach.
They just showed that they were free.
They was never like.
Remember that song? But they would entice their partners probably or their potential person, maybe on the dance floor shaking the tail
leg.
Exactly.
Take it right back.
Say, they'll probably pinpoint the guy that they attracted to. They're not gonna go walk up to them and say, they're not gonna walk up to them and say, "Can I have your number?" They're gonna go on that dance floor. Well, whatever. They're gonna walk on that dance floor and they're gonna show that little leg, that little eye, give them a little eye.
They were more flirtatious with it back then.
Well, they said because back then it was just starting out with they were just exploring.
Yeah.
They were like, "Ooh, let me shake my shimmy."
Yeah, but they're not gonna go walk up to the dude and say, "What's your name?"
No, they might go and shake it up in front of their face.
Maybe, but that was their way of enticing them. Now today, these girls will walk up to the dude and say, "What's your number?"
But even in they're backing that thing up on them on the dance floor.
Today or back then?
They were doing it
both times.
Both times.
That's the same.
I just think back then when they did it, it was more of the ones that knew that what they were doing. They were really testing the waters. But others, if they did it, they were looked upon as being a Jezebel or something in that.
Fast. You can still be looked upon that way now.
But not like then.
Not back then. You were totally
really
ostracized.
Don't care.
Yeah.
You have to find what men.
So, with that being said, these women and the parents of the men was probably like, you can probably flirt around with her, but don't bring her home. She ain't gonna be the one you're gonna marry.
So have fun, but that's not your wife.
Right. Yeah. She's not wife material. So they had that challenge, you think? I'm sure.
Yeah, but then I think, too, some men, if they really had a lot of fun, they probably would. Well, you have the men that are very much like, okay, I'm going to do what my mommy and daddy say because they, after all, I'm inheriting them. I'm getting that generational wealth being passed down. So they're like, I'm sorry, Susan, but I got to go marry Karen because she's going to give me the babies. And she comes from a good elf, good fabric.
Good stock.
Right. Even though he loved himself some Susan.
He probably can't never stop messing with Susan. Susan's going to be the sneaky link.
Susan got them babies. Susan got his babies, but she's shutting up.
She's gonna be the sneaky link.
Yeah, for sure. But he gonna marry Karen. So when Joseph dies, unfortunately, I can make a story.
You should.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Joseph dies. Karen getting everything. Susan, you fucked.
Yeah, you messed up.
And I think that translates into modern society. Yes, the wife gets everything, baby. So y'all side chicks, y'all shoot it if you want to, but
stop being the sneaky link.
Don't be the side when you got to be the main hoe. So sorry. Don't.
And that's whether you're married or not. When you're married, you gotta be his everything.
You gotta be the main one.
You gotta be the everything
if you want the assets.
Yeah,
I am not a gold digger. I got my own shit,
but.
I
cannot.
Okay, okay.
We don't have no problems.
I don't worry about none of that.
Thank the Lord. But
no, for sure, no shade, no tea. Y'all shy chicks. Same thing applies. Like you gotta, if you trying to really bust out and do something, you gotta be the main one, baby, because you're not gonna walk away with no assets unless you have him write it specifically for you. So why play that role? Why you gotta play second? You don't want to be second.
Nope.
Well. You know what?
Be the main character.
Some of these side chicks are, they banking. They getting some money
while he's alive.
True. So y'all better save all the coins you're getting.
But no winner is
hold on. I don't deny that. What I'm saying is they are getting some.
Yeah.
So think about Nick Cannon and his 13, 14 babies.
no, well, technically, that's just child support for the kid, not for her.
Listen,
technically,
Don't sleep because you still got
them
some of them
thousands
out
of dollars
there.
in child support. This ain't no $200-$300 a month child support. So if y'all smart, y'all gonna bank that money. Y'all gonna invest that money. So when that ninja dies, you good.
Ninja.
Because you ain't the main chick.
But hold on, best believe there are some of those side chicks out there that are really
they're still recording.
getting their money.
it's gonna go.
Yeah.
The guy left money in the will or something for them. So don't think that all of them are not getting off. I'm not.
In the spirit of Halloween.
In the spirit of Halloween, go out there, baby. Get what you want. Get what you need. Be the main character, no matter what costume you want to put on for the 364 days. Use this day to be like the main character in your own world and carry that forward forever. You have to be. Big energy.
Mm-hmm.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Subscribe. Share. Like.